Watari-kun is about to collapse. Should you watch it? You know, should you watch it? Will I continue watching it? I went into this show, right, with some expectation. Now, not like expectations of it being good or expectations of it being bad or expectations of, not like that. Just expectations of what I expected for the story to be. Now, in the previews, in the trailer, because I covered this on like, hey, here's the anime I'm going to watch this season. On the previews, it had the girl... I think her name is what is her name? Is it Tachibana or something like that? Yeah, I think her name is Tachibana. So it had the girl Tachibana, which is like the blonde hair girl. It had her being like a killer, or it gave off like she's like that killer vibe, and she is after Naoto Watari again, kind of thing. And going into it, I thought this was gonna be like a weird, like forced romance, like thriller, murder, mystery, like I'm trying to think of how I'm trying to think of a good one that I can compare it to, and it might be that summer anime. I forget what it was called. Endless Summer, something summer. Anyway, there was a weird one before. It was like something summer. And I thought it was going to be kind of like that, towards like, it was like murder, thriller, mystery kind of thing. And it doesn't seem that way. And because it kind of diverted and it's completely my fault, by the way. Okay. So I want to make sure, like, if you were out there and you were like, no, like, dude, like, I don't know how you got that idea. Totally understand. Like, this was just my fault for interpreting the trailer and the themes of the show incorrectly. So my opinion is still going to be based off of that, because that's what I expected going into it. I think it has a lot of potential, but I'm not completely sold on it because, again, my expectations of what I thought I was getting into are diverted. Now, it has that thing to where it seems that Watari has like PTSD of this girl, Tachibana or whatever. And it's simply because at some point when they were kids, she basically like crashed out and took it out on his garden, and he calls her the garden crusher. And essentially, she did two things. She was, more than likely, my guess is her parents were probably going through a divorce. There was something tragic happened, and she just crashed out, and the garden just happened to be the one to face the music at that time. And because she was too little, she didn't know how to explain that to Watari. And then she ended up, he says she disappeared from his life. So she ended up just disappearing. And obviously since then, that's the mark that she left, right? Is she crashed out. She ruined his garden. He didn't know why. She looked like she was like a demon to him. And then she just disappeared. Then he went through his own stuff, because Watari's parents, I'm assuming, they didn't explain it, but I'm assuming accident, because it just kind of says like, hey, 2 years ago, so when he was like 13, 14 years old, I think he's 16 right now. So when he was like 14 years old and his little sister was 8, his parents died. I'm assuming they probably got in a car crash or plane crash or, boat crash or some tragic accident happened to where they both died at the same time. And he's been going through it, and his little sister's been going through it, because the way that the story is they got passed from family member to family member to family member, and then they finally landed on Tatsuya, I think is her name, which is their aunt, younger aunt, 28 years old, and she is now their caretaker, and she is a shut-in, probably like remote worker or some, she does something to where she works at home. And that's who they live with now for like the last month or two, as he's now in, in high school and stuff like that. Then as they're just getting used to new life here, he's trying to make friends, he's trying to fit in, but he's prioritizing his little sister because that's all he has in the world. And they're calling him a siscon and stuff. And at this point, he's trying to get socialized. And then now this Tachibana girl's back in his life. But for him, he has a big crush on another girl in his life. And in the OP and in the ED, they also introduced one more girl, which is like, has like pink hair. I don't know what her name is because they didn't show her. So apparently he's gonna have this Tachibana girl as like, you know, the one setting things off, the one that's little off her rocker. He's gonna have Ishihara, which is the purple hair girl, the one with, you know, big old bazangas. And then there's gonna be another girl that either is gonna come next episode or at some other time in the show, and that's gonna be kind of like his love quadrangle, you know, his little like, you know, square of girls or whatever. And it seems that although this Tachibana girl's weird and outlandish and out there, and they kiss this episode and everything else, it doesn't seem like it doesn't. It seems like she's gonna be the flint, the spark to the fire for what activities and things could and may happen as the show progresses. Now, I think I'm still in. Like, I think it's weird and it's an interesting take on romance. And I laughed a couple of times this episode. I thought it was pretty funny, right? She like bear hugs him and like, you know, she starts like tickling his ribs. He's like, let me go. Okay, I give it to you. And then he like books it. You know, I think I did laugh a couple of times. So for those reasons, enough. Outside of my expectations, what I expected and what I got are two different products. Outside of that, what I did have here is I did enjoy it, and I want to see where it goes. Now, ultimately, you guys will let me know if this is one we're going to cover or not, you know, based on your comments, based on likes, based on views. And we may be back for next week's episode 2 for Watari-kun is about to collapse here on the channel. Or we won't. I don't know for sure. But I'll leave that up to you guys. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let me know how you're feeling about it. If I see mostly not feeling it in the comments and the video doesn't do well, then I won't be back. But if I see really good views and I see positivity in the comments, I will be back. And yeah, we'll just kind of go from there. We'll play it by ear. But I do kind of want to see where it goes. But ultimately, there's like 20 anime that I'm going to cover for episode 1. So if for some reason this doesn't end up making the cut or whatever, totally okay. Because there's just so many other anime. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your July 4th. And I'll see you guys for either next week's episode of Watari-kun, or I'll see you on another anime as summer is just, it's going crazy. All right. Peace out, my friends.